Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here with us today. I'm sitting with the author of the book, Leadership, the Universal Skill Everyone Can Be a Leader, Nathan Giroux. Nathan, thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Miguel.
Thank you. For those who aren't familiar with the amazing work you're doing, let them know about yourself.
Yeah, so my background is a lot of international leadership development. I run a nonprofit organization called Light, Leadership Influencing Teen Empowerment, where we go into area high schools and middle schools and teach leadership development training and emotional intelligence training.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, when we talk about what we're talking about today, which is effective leadership, oftentimes people believe or have the preconceived notion that leaders are more defined by the people, or rather the size of the group that they have. I'm more of the idea that leaders are leaders no matter of the tribe that follow them, whether big or small. What kind of word of encouragement could we give to that leader that's maybe starting off and doesn't see the biggest following that maybe they'd like to have?
Well, I think it all comes down to how you define leadership. So if you think leadership is a title or a position, and you don't have a title or a position, then you might see yourself not as a leader. If you see yourself as successful only because you have a certain number of followers, then you might not see yourself as a leader. But if you see leadership as adding value to the lives of other people, positively influencing others to work on a common vision, that's leadership. So that means whether you are maybe in business, a manager, maybe you are a parent and you're influencing the lives of your children. That's an example of demonstrating leadership. And when in my book we talk about how do we be a quality leader, kind of balancing the two of being ethical and effective, with effectiveness being the ability to accomplish your tasks, the ability to positively influence other people, and then the ethics relate to the values, the morals that we lead with. And both of those are things that we work on as leaders throughout our lives, that we can always be better with our ethics and we can always be building and improving upon our effectiveness.
Awesome. One of the things that you mentioned or have written about is this quote here that I want to share, where you said, and I quote, effective leaders who lack values, integrity, or ethics can influence people to do things that shatter the world's conscience. How can we say that a leader was good when the consequences of the leader's actions led to harm and infringement upon people's autonomy, liberty, or even their right to exist, end quote. Now, man, that's heavy, heavy. When we look at the world today, politics show us different type of leaders. Let's talk a little bit about different type of leaderships, because you've mentioned some awesome things, but it's all character based and not work based.
There are some work-based examples throughout the book because, again, it does relate to the professional life, but also the personal life. And so, like with that quote, one of the reasons that I even wrote this book, it started with a story when I was flying to China for a leadership program with Chinese youth, where I was there for about a month. And with that flight, there was a Mongolian student that was flying on that 23-hour flight with me. And so we were able to talk about a variety of different things in that 23-hour flight. And so we talked about sports, we talked about US geography, what is a city, what's a state, stuff like that. But then we started talking about leadership. And I remember asking him who were some of the leaders he looked up to. And I was interested to see a Mongolian's perspective of who was a good leader. And as we talked, one of his first people he mentioned was Genghis Khan. And I'm like, okay, fine. Mongolian likes Genghis Khan as his role model leader. And I said, well, okay, who else? And I was thinking of, are there political leaders? Are there authors? Are there community leaders that he looked up to? Then he mentioned about Julius Caesar. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Okay, Caesar, I could see that. Then he said Napoleon. And then I started seeing a theme, right? He was seeing leadership as conquerors. But then he kind of shyly brought up this next person. He mentioned he goes, Hitler was kind of a good leader. I mean, he did bad things, but he was good at what he did. And that's where I was realizing that oftentimes we have that debate as to can a good leader do bad things? And that is a common debate in leadership. And when I was looking more deeper into this, all the different leadership strategies, leadership theories, the leadership studies. There's a lot of work on leaders having structure and consideration, right? Structure for the task and then consideration for others. But you can have consideration for others with malicious intent. And so it's looking at what do we want to define as a quality leader, and that would be balancing both a desire for ethics and a desire for effectiveness, whether it's in our professional life or in personal life.
When we talk about strategy, I often define strategy as a defined number of steps to get us to a specific objective breakthrough. So today's goal is to help those who are listening to get to that position where they themselves can be effective leaders. So give us some strategies for those who are listening that are just starting off. And, we've already kind of hit some golden nuggets here where it's not about the title, it's about the service, it's about the value that we can bring. But let's talk about those strategies to help us actually be more authentic and effective leaders.
Absolutely. So I think one of the first things, because with the book, it goes into the model of ethical effectiveness, and then it goes into how do we become more effective. And so a few of those strategies, right, we talk about finding a vision, having a purpose, and in doing so, setting smart strategic goals to help us accomplish them. We also talk a little bit about how do we define a strong team culture that allows us to have a culture where team members can thrive in our team, where it's not just about how can you, the team member, help me, the leader. It's how can we have that mutually beneficial relationship that accomplishes a common shared vision. We also talk about strategies going into the team productivity versus the leader's involvement, where as a team progresses, the productivity early is going to be very minimal, not because the team is bad or stupid or incompetent, but just because they haven't developed the skills yet. So the leader's involvement's higher early in that stage of team development. But as the team progresses, the leader's involvement backs off and decreases while allowing team members to take on more leadership, take on more responsibility because they have developed the confidence and the ability to accomplish those tasks. So we talk about how do we adapt and our style as a leader to fit the needs of our team, as well as embracing diversity, knowing that there is the physical diversity, ideological diversity, and behavioral diversity, and that just because someone may look, act, think, or behave differently than we do, that insight is valuable to us as leaders, because I might not see the world the same way Miguel does, but the way Miguel sees the world could offer new insights to our team to move forward together. So a variety of different effective leadership topics are discussed in the book to help kind of add more tools to your toolbox to be an effective leader.
Awesome. It's really that balance when you're a leader. As a parent myself, you have to have that balance of knowing when to manage and then when to supervise. Mm-hmm. I gotta know when to go heavy-handed, so to speak. Awesome. Nathan, for those individuals who want to get involved with you and with Light and everything you're doing, how could they do so?
Absolutely. So if anyone is interested in Light information, so LITE, there's the website. It's LITEUSA.org, and that way you can see more about the nonprofit organization. So if you have a school in your area or a youth group, community group, we also do provide adult programs as well that can be discussed. That's where you can reach out to us on our website. If you're interested in Leadership, the Universal Skill, the book, you can go to my website at Nathan Jarosz. That's spelled NATHANJAROSZ.com, and there you can find the book off of Amazon and get your purchase, especially in time for the holidays.
Definitely. Nathan, I thank you so much for taking up your time and being here with us today and providing such insight with regards to leadership.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a wonderful time sharing this information with you, and thanks for your audience for paying attention and listening to it.
Thank you.